So Singapore made me a clown, I like to say that Singapore made me a clown because I was raised in such a harsh environment of almost like a square box, I would say, and that forces you sometimes to go I don't fit into this box, and I think there are other people around me here struggling to fit in the box. Hi, welcome to the Clean Your Toilet podcast, and I'm Shanice, and I'm a professional clown.
Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Brenda. I am a forest school coach. So maybe Shanice, maybe I'll just start with myself first. What do I do as a forest school coach? I think we are in two professionals that are quite different from the usual 9-to-5 job, right?
Yeah.
So as a forest school coach, we teach kids in the forest. Okay, some of the key questions people will ask me, whether is there any forest? What do you do in the forest? Everyone is getting muddy, getting uncomfortable. What do? You only can walk inside the forest, right? So this is how people perceive, and the misconception of just being forest is just a walk. But with every walk, there's always an intention. And there's always a good play in the forest. Why? Because we play with nature. We play with mud. Kids get comfortable, and we ourselves get comfortable in mud, in water. People will go so dirty. What will you do? How are you going to clean up? There's a lot of uncomfort when you're playing in the nature. Mosquito bites, right? Do I need to put repellent? Come on, stick all the repellents and stuff like that. So this uncomfort kind of educating or play, it's quite touchy. To many individuals, be it adults, be it even as a kid, right? Because you are so used to the convention. So that's what we do. We'll tell parents, okay, bye, bye, tell the kids and say bye to your parents, just don't come, right? So that's what we do. Parents don't have a say because the kids are with us. We can torture the kids anytime. Okay, not
Wait,
really
I'm
torture.
so curious. How did you become a forest school coach?
Just be trained as a coach.
But why forest school?
Forest, because it's nature. We are just back in nature. We are doing something a bit unconventional, yet kind of still structured in a certain way. Why? Because Mother Nature teaches us many things, right?
Yeah.
Nature teaches us many things. And there's no such thing as recess time. We eat whenever we want during the whole session, the 3-hour session. We respect the nature. We respect every single thing that is surrounding us. We take time to rest. And we kind of slow down. Even us as coaches, we unlearn and relearn in everything that we do.
And which forest are you in usually?
There are many forests, like Alexandra Forest, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it depends on how you look at word forest, semi-forest maybe as well, because it's all being urbanized, right?
Cut down.
Cut down, tear down. But there's always ways to go in. So something different. And we entertain ourselves. So we kind of entertain ourselves. I think as what I can see, you have also a very interesting profession, right? Being a clown, entertaining as entertaining us, entertaining yourself. Maybe you can share a bit more.
I didn't plan to be a clown. I didn't plan to work in comedy or anything like that. I was actually a very serious, perfectionist person. I'm Singaporean, raised here, raised by very conservative parents, and my mom more than my dad. Shout out to my mom. But they kind of raised me in this system where I'm sure you're familiar with, where the school system, you know, you need to do well, you need to be good, you need to be like, if you don't, if you know, mess up, like, wow, your grades are bad, you know, we don't know what will happen, whether you get a job. So that's kind of how I was raised. And then I've always wanted to be an actor. Like, I love acting. I still act. And part of my training for an acting school that I was in was to go for a clown class. So I actually walked into this clown class, like, one day. It was like compulsory clown class. Remember, it was in New York City. I walked in there, went straight to the teacher and said, I'm not funny. Like, I'm from Singapore. Like, we are very serious, you know, as a country. So I'm going to be bad at this class. I hope you can understand. And then the teacher was like, he looked at me like I was crazy. And two, he was like, just play the games, you know, just relax, it'll be fine. And so I was so terrified because clowning, when people hear clowning, they go like, oh my God, you have to be funny, you have to entertain a crowd. So that's what I thought I had to do. But in clown class, all you do is play games. And a lot of these games are like childhood games that are actually designed for you to just play and basically find your clown. Like, the more you play, the more the clown you become. So I started playing on these games, and the games have a lot of like things where you know, make a lot of mistakes, you know, it goes so fast, you trip up or you become silly. And then people started to laugh at me in the class, and I was like feeling very good about it. I was like, oh my God, they're laughing at me, I'm so bad, but they love it. And then my teacher would say, Shanice, you're a clown. And I was like, I am? It's like this moment of like I had this come to Shanice is a clown moment where I realized that, yeah, they don't really teach you this in Singapore, like how to be bad, how to make mistakes, and how to fail. And I just thought, oh my God, I want to train like that. I want to be able to be so good at making mistakes. Because I was the kind of person that if I made a mistake, I'll be so hard on myself. I'll be like, oh, I'm bad, or this is the end of it, you know? But in clown class, I will make a mistake and everyone's like, you know, and I was shining in the mistake. And I thought if I could master this skill, I could master life. So I came back to Singapore and I started to write clown shows, and I started to teach this sort of way of playing and clowning. And then I decided one day to just go to clown school for 2 years in Paris. And then I became like a professional clown.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, when you were saying about clown school, I was just thinking, is there any clown school in Singapore?
No, I wish there was. I mean, working on it. I'm working on it. But yeah, the best sort of clown schools, because clowning has been around for like centuries, right? Like circus and all of that. So they are usually in Europe or like North America, and even Asian cultural traditional forms. They have different kinds of clowning. Like the Balinese dance tradition, they have a clown character, but like you really have to go to these places and like really train. It's like almost like an art school. And then now I'm a clown.
Sounds like a serious clown though.
A serious clown. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe when you are in this clowning journey, right? I mean, given that we are all in Singapore with very strict parents, how do you convince, or what are your struggles with like, hey mom, dad, you know, today I just want to be a clown, right?
Oh my God,
just send me to a clown school.
Oh my God, the conversation. Yeah, no, for real. After I went to university, I've always wanted to be an artist, and they have always resisted because they are like, artists, you don't make money, you know, you're going to be poor. It's just a dream. It's a passion. Leave it at that. But I always knew I was a creative person, and I always wanted to pursue it. And that's always been in me. I tried to be a psychologist in school. I changed majors because I was like, I can't do it. But then when I was finished university, I took on a job, like a marketing job, to figure out my kind of artistic career. And so this was my day job. And that marketing job was great in terms of money, but it was not great in terms of like fulfillment and feeling like a purpose in this world. So my clown teacher in clown school, his name is Philippe Gaulier, and he's very famous. He trained a lot of famous comedians like Sacha Baron Cohen and like a few of the Hollywood comedians. So he came to Singapore in 2018 for a week-long clown workshop intensive, and I signed up for it. So I was working my day job in the day. I would go and take his class after my job, and every day in that class I became so bad at playing games. So this was like 2 years since my first clown workshop, had that I'm a clown moment. Then I started working this marketing job. I go to a clown class and I was so bad in it. He actually like threw me out of the class because I just couldn't play. And every day, I remember it was in Waterloo Street. I would walk from Waterloo Street to Dhoby Ghaut MRT on the way home, and I would have like an existential crisis of like, why am I so bad at playing? Like, what happened to me that I can't even play. Like, I don't know why is this like a crisis? And it really affected me like every day, and I would like cry when we got MRT because it was like, is there something wrong with me? How did I become so like serious? So at the end of the workshop, his wife who was with him actually came up to me and said, Shanice, like, I think if you came to Paris to train and like be away from Singapore and your job and everything, I think you would do really well. But you need to leave and you need to come. And I was like, go to France for 2 years? That's crazy. I told her that. I was like, sorry, I'm not interested. But then what she said to me like stuck in my head for a while, because then I kept working this marketing job, and every day it felt like my soul was like dying. And then one day I decided that, what am I doing? Like, I really want to find my play again. I am stuck in this job. I'm earning the money, but I'm just doing it like without feeling like I'm contributing anything significant to this world, which somehow is very important to me, to feel like I have some kind of purpose. And this job was like marketing like toothbrushes and skincare and toothpaste, which are things that I didn't think needed to be marketed. And I'm using all my creative talent to like making other people like, sell their toothpaste or whatever. So one day I decided to do something bold.
Before we dive back in, a quick rinse from our sponsors. So the Fashion Pulpit is Singapore's first permanent fashion swapping space. They're a social enterprise that's built to make sustainable fashion practical. Not just preachy and not occasional, but part of daily living.
Yep. So after years of organizing pop-up swaps, collaborations and workshops, they realized something simple but important, right? People were motivated to create actually positive change.
Yep.
But the thing is, sustainability had to fit into their lives and not compete with them.
Correct. So in order to help to solve this problem about sustainability sometimes being hard to fit into people's lives, they created one space where you can go and do a few things. You can swap pre-loved clothes, shoes, bags and accessories anytime at their space. You also can attend and learn about upcycling skills and fashion tips from them. And you can join workshops and conversations around conscious consumption.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah. And last but not least, you extend the lifespan of fashion and reduce, textile waste together as a community.
Well, again, it's so well thought through.
Yes.
Even the whole system designed to this, right? This season we actually spotlight stories that challenge how systems are actually designed.
That's
and
right.
Fashion Pulpit really fits in with this because they remind us that change doesn't always require sacrifice.
Yep.
We just need to have better systems that give us better access and better design.
That's right. So for our CYT listeners, we're giving away a clothes set of 5 fashion items. And how they work is that you go to their shop, right? We'll put the details below. And there's something called a play date section. And you can choose 5 items, anywhere from clothes, shoes, bags, and accessories.
It sounds so interesting. It's like for kids.
Correct. So
play dates.
Yeah, it's going to be like a thrift store. So I think it'll be very exciting to see a range of things. And to take part in the giveaway, you must comment on any of our social platforms, CYT Fashion Pulpit, spell it out, to stand a chance to win. Each comment is one chance, so comment more for a higher chance to win this giveaway.
Yeah. So if you ever want to make more conscious fashion choices without overthinking it, Fashion Pulpit is it, right? It's a great place to start because sustainability works best when it works with real life, and that's what they have actually done.
That's right. Now back to the rest of the episode.
And I just quit my job. Or I didn't quit, but I did this thing where I was like, I will work remotely. At that time, it was not COVID. We don't actually think about working remotely. But I hired a bunch of people to cover my role. I was kind of a senior like leader in that team, and to help me out while I would go to clown school. So I was going to clown school in Paris. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do my marketing job remotely, I'll go to clown school and then come back at night and continue doing my marketing job remotely. And I did this for 2 years until COVID hit. And then when I came back from France, I was one of the first few people during the pandemic. I don't know if you remember, like they were shutting down borders, and then people who were coming back, they were like thrown into their quarantine room.
Yes.
I was one of those people. I took the last plane back from Paris to Singapore because everything was shutting down. Literally the day before I was in clown school, I was like, la 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 la, and then bam, pandemic. And the next day I'm in quarantine in my tiny bedroom in my parents' house. And in that quarantine, I realized that I think I'm going to quit my job, which is the worst timing you will ever think about because it's pandemic and no one knew. The art scene was literally like crumbling. And I thought, I'm going to quit my job and become a full-time artist. So I told my parents that. Of course, they thought I was insane because they were like, it's the pandemic and are you sure like this is what you want to do because you have a stable job, you're earning money. And then I said, no, I really feel it in my heart that I think if I can make this work for 2 years, then, and I'm not broke, then it means I'm meant to do it. So give me 2 years and yeah, let me do it. And I think at that point in time, I was like, I'm not going to listen to what my parents say. I'm like so old already. So like, I did it, and now it's been 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, been clowning for 9 years.
Yeah, clowning for 9 years.
So, like you mentioned, like being a clown, right? Then we all have to make mistakes and stuff like that. And I mean, we are in a world in a way that, you know, when you see you're making mistake, it's like a no. And how has that play and discover yourself? Like mistakes is okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an everyday exercise. But I think in the clown world, we have this philosophy. So if you ever have a chance to watch a clown show, which I think everyone should watch a clown show, the clown show is really designed to entertain the crowd. And usually in a clown show, if you watch even like a show like Mr. Bean, who is kind of a clown, the clowns will always face a problem. Right? Like Mr. Bean, if you watch an episode, he's like, his head is stuck in the turkey or something. He needs to get out or no one's coming to his party. So the clowns always face a problem and then we find a solution to the problem. And the clown way of solving problems is always very whimsical, very out of the box. For example, if the cat is stuck in a tree, the clown won't take a ladder and climb the tree. The clown might call a cat animal communicator to serenade the cat, or like we'll buy 10 other trees. You know, like the clown's always thinking out the box. So that's very fun for us to watch because the clown's always kind of solving problems, but they get themselves into more trouble. So that's the clown show. And really the role of a clown show is to reflect actually to society, like, hey, things can go wrong, you know, like things can fall apart, but we're clowns, so anything is possible and we can solve it. And when we train in that way, I think it really translates into my real life because now when I face problems, instead of like the usual no or cannot, which I think is a very Singaporean ingrained in us. If you sometimes like you present to Singaporeans a problem, sometimes the first thing we're like, no, we can't solve it, or no, you cannot do this.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, right. Like we think of why it can't be done first before what do we need to do to make it happen. It's just ingrained in us. I don't blame anybody. I think it's just the system of like efficiency that's created here. But that also means that we all grow up to be like thinking in a more negative way instead of like what can we do out of the box that makes it possible? So now, as a clown, the treasure that I took from clown school is that now when someone tells me no, instead of saying that I accept the no, like it can't be done, my clown brain goes, No, it's just a suggestion. Like, let's find the other way, the most impossible way to make it happen, and I probably will. So it kind of gave me that resilience of that. And then even like clown shows, we make a lot of mistakes, right? We trip, we fall on our face, things get thrown at us. And people laugh at that because we reflect humanity back to them, right? Like, we laugh at the things that we relate to. So we're mirrors of that. And now we call that the flop, when, you know, things go wrong in your show. Call it embrace the flop. And then the clown always finds another way around it. And I bring that with my life also. Like, when things go wrong, I call it, oh, we flopped. And now we need to look at how we got from point A to point B that caused this flop. Like, maybe I walked in a straight line and I hit a wall, for example, in a clown way. And now as a clown, we would like find another way around the wall, or we would break the wall or whatever. But it's related to real life too. Like, I get from point A to point B, I hit a wall, I hit a flop. And now I need to completely change the way I'm working, because that way has always resulted in the same consequence. So now to change that, the clown needs to do something else. And I find that it's quite related to real life. No, like we hit our walls, and it's because we have the same habits and the same patterns that are holding us back. So we need to like change it up. And I think being a clown has helped me so much, because it's forcing me to think outside of myself sometimes and outside of the box. And like, I have this thing where I like to put my clown brain on and go like, what would my clown do? You know, what would my clown do? My clown would do the most extreme things, and to think in that way, because it really helps me get out of sticky situation. Yeah. So how about your relationship with mistakes? I'm sure as a Singaporean, that is a common theme that you might face.
I think mistakes, I think we are all afraid of mistakes, right? I mean, like for me, I used to make mistakes, or rather I'm still making mistakes. And we used to treat mistake as like, that's the end of the world. Maybe I'll just also use like in where I am in forest school, when we see kids falling down, right? As a normal parents, of course, then you'll say like, you see lah, tell you already, you still like that, right? Like, I told you already you should wear this shoe, or I told you you should be doing this and you should be doing that, because that's a mistake that you didn't listen to me. And I myself, sometimes, you know, I used to do that. Like, if I didn't do well or I make a mistake, it's always a blame game. And even in the forest, you know, we'll tell kids, so, okay, it's okay to make mistake, right? And if we treat mistake as a learning point, it helps a lot more. I myself, I make a lot of mistakes, even in school, right? I don't like to study, and that's it, like, okay lah, get it, right? Like, you know, when the teacher say, Brenda, you know, if you don't study, you will fail. Then I'll just look at him.
They say that, right?
Yeah, they always say that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a biggest mistake, and then that will be the biggest mistake in your life. You will never have a salary, you never have a work, and that's the end of your life. Then I'll just look at him. Okay, lor.
You do that. I love it.
I used to fear a lot sometimes. Then, I mean, when I said that, I just say it straight in the face. Then after, when I go back, it's like, okay, I need to think about it now. Like, okay, did I make a mistake? What did I say? So I kind of like regret at times. But that said, I also learned to, okay lor, say already lor, what can I do? Study hard lah. Just pretend I go back and study hard. I mean, sometimes we do that as part of our mistake. But that's also where we learn. The words that we say out as a mistake. Yeah, and we all learn. Without mistakes, we never learn and we never grow, right?
Yeah, but it's the act of making a mistake, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
My gosh.
It's just like, right, piece of myself as well. Yeah, but I think it's to embrace it and say, okay, then what's the next solution, right? So I think, I mean, I really like this unusual path that you actually took in terms of being a clown, right? And you know, when people ask you, like, why do you choose to be a clown? And you know, making mistakes, yes, is a very big thing for most Asians, right? How would you actually tell them, like, is there something, like you say, it's okay, but you know, parents always say, no, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I get asked this quite a lot, mostly by Singaporeans, because I work around the world. So I find that Singaporeans, when I say I'm a clown, I mean, the reactions are like, oh, really? There's such a thing? But I actually think that I'm a clown here because I'm from Singapore, because there is a need for it. Not because, like, I mean, I love doing it, but I go back to why I started. I was never taught to fail and never taught to learn to celebrate making mistakes, right? No one taught me that, which is why I'm here bringing it back, because I want to help. Like, I can imagine kids like me, like, struggling, stuck in their head. So Singapore made me a clown, I like to say that. Singapore made me a clown because I was raised in such a harsh, like, environment of, like, almost like a square box, I would say. And that forces you sometimes to go like, I don't fit into this box. And I think there are other people around me here struggling to fit in the box. So when I say that my job here is done only when people learn that, like, in a way, I feel like I'm trying to change culture a little bit, and it's changing, as generations go on. But yeah, my work here is because there is a crisis here. Like, there is a crisis of people still, like, struggling with failure and learning to make mistakes. And the crisis is more, I feel like, interpersonal or emotional. It's not like we can put it in statistics, but I see it all the time with my students, like different schools I go to or companies, right? Like, people just wanting to be this most expanded version of themselves, but they can't be. So the clown has to come in and kind of break the wall a little bit. And my job is to kind of plant those seeds and let them experience this other way of working, and then let them go on and do their thing. And it's quite fun because I get to go into all kinds of spaces. Like, I go into, like, corporate offices. I've worked with, like, different engineers and scientists. And then I also go and work with the prison system. And I worked with, like, kids who are, like, terminally ill, like, different spaces in our communities that need this sort of injection of joy and thinking out of the box. And that's been, like, great because I am a clown because I'm from here.
But in your journey as being a clown, right, has there at any time that you stopped believing in yourself being a clown, and how has that helped you to go back into the clown?
Yeah, all the time, actually. It's quite a consistent chat with myself, I would say.
It's like a check in, check out, check in, check out, right?
When I first started, it was very, very difficult. I am the only one sort of promoting clowning here. No one knew what clowning was. When I say clown, people think like horror killer clowns, or those like circus clowns and street clowns, juggling. And like, clowning is very superficial for them, so they're not interested. And I've actually had, like, some people tell me, like, people with power, people with money in different institutions tell me, like, no one actually watches clown shows, or there's no, like, need for clowning here. And that was very heartbreaking for me. So the first few years, I think the first 6 years, I think, were really tough, and I really wanted to quit all the time. But then every time I want to quit, then someone will, like, email me, hi, I would like a clown workshop. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll quit after this clown workshop. And then I'll do the clown workshop that is fantastic and amazing, and then everyone loved it. I'm like, okay, fine, I won't quit yet. And then it kind of became like a cycle, And then only in the last kind of 3 years, I started working abroad and touring around the world with my shows. Then they started kind of getting accolades and recognition. That's when I went, we've kind of gone too far now to quit. I kind of am a clown now. Like, it's not just I do this on the weekends, or I'm trying to make it work. Now it's like, no, the newspaper wrote about it. You can't just quit like now. But I still have those moments. I'm sure you too, right? Like, do you ever have a moment where you're like, I don't want to be a forest school coach?
Yeah, sometimes you kind of like, okay, I think I'm done with it. Like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
But like you say, you do see a problem, and that problem can't keep you going, right?
Yeah, you're like, fine, I'll solve it. Like, fine, you need a clown workshop. I'm feeling not great today, but I'm gonna come in, and then I feel good doing a clown workshop, and I'm like, I love my job, so I go through this emotional thing. But I'm still here. And I think that's with every profession. I'm sure if you ask anyone with a job, like they go like, yeah, I want to quit half the time. In your job too, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, times like sometimes when there are very low sign-up rate, like, or you have a lot of forest school in Singapore. There are like 21 forest schools in Singapore.
Sorry, what? I'm just hearing this
right?
now.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, got enough already. Then my sign-up rate, I only got like 3 students. What do I do? Right, you kind of feel very disappointed. Is it parents don't need it? Maybe there are more than enough for a school already, and when you have maybe friends with kids, they're like, no lah, forest is just what only what, That's the way they think of it, and it's like, I can bring my kid anytime. And I said, okay lor, nothing I can do about it, right? So when you see the dropout rate, you kind of feel like, okay, actually they don't need it anymore. Yeah, I felt like, okay lor, then maybe I will just step back. But when you see that even that 3 are still coming for it, then we'll go like, okay, at least there are 3.
Yeah.
Even then you tell yourself, even there's 1, it's okay. I'll just do it. and because the one who really show up, right? Yeah, actually tells you already something that they're ready for it and they want it. And you just need to serve 1. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this story of a friend of mine who came for one of my workshops, and they were the only one who signed up. And I hate that feeling with you. It's like you're having a party, you prepare everything, you want as many people there, and then when the sign-ups are low, you're like, oh no, only 1 person came to my party. But that person really needed a clown workshop, and sometimes you just don't know who is gonna show up, and for that day, it's what they needed or what they looked forward to the whole week was this workshop. And like, we don't see that because like we are trained to think that success is in numbers and metrics of like how many people and all that. But I think in this kind of line of work, the success sometimes is not in a very quantifiable sort of numbers thing. It's about the quality of an experience, because we are teaching people to connect with themselves, and for you, I guess, with nature. And that's not like quantifiable, right? Like in data.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's the experience that they really need. And I mean, even in forest school, you have kids from all different walks of life that come in, and they just need that little space to be authentic to themselves as well, right? And that maybe keep us going in doing what we really want to do. I think even in clowning, I mean, when I first heard about clowning, the first thing is like, okay, with red nose, and what else do they do? Juggle balls, right? And like, what do you really do? And being clown, it seems easy, and yet, I don't know, it kind of not. And what do you actually learn in like clowning, and with all the mistakes, right? And how do you treat it so positively? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, there are different kinds of clowns, like to educate our viewers here. There's the circus clown that you see in Cirque du Soleil. You have street clowns, they juggle. Medical clowns, they go into the hospitals and entertain kids. And then you have the theatrical clown, that's me. And my work is like almost like an actor. I write a lot of clown shows that are like a theater show, live on stage. So you come in, I present to you like a story that you follow along, but instead of like a character, the character is the clown. So I'm making a lot of mistakes and stuff. So in that way, my work is always kind of in the media, like TV, film, live theater, so more in a storytelling format. So I can't juggle I can't juggle. Yeah, I can juggle like imaginary juggling balls, right? But I trained in a school that was like very contemporary like that. So in the clown school, we trained to, play games, make a lot of mistakes. But then in the school I trained in, we trained to write a lot of stories and a lot of shows that we would then put up in front of an audience. And so that's kind of what we do. And yeah, people always think that clowning, I have to be positive all the time. I've been thinking about it a lot because this year, I've been clowning so much, and not every month of the year I did feel very positive about things. Life did get very busy and very crazy. But I think it's not about being positive. I'm in the business of helping people find the resource of joy within themselves. Yeah, I'm not the joy bringer. I'm helping them find the resource of joy. I'm facilitating a space that feels safe enough for you to find this inner child, which is very connected to your clown, so that when you do find it, it also comes with this resource of joy. So I realized that I didn't need to be positive and joyful all the time. All I had to do was create that safe space and allow people to find that within themselves. And for some people, I find that it's very easy for them. Like they get very fast into their clown. They're naturally clowns. And then for some people, it's really, really difficult. Like I always say like, the clown is very linked to your inner child. When we're young, we fall on our face, we get up. I'm sure you see that in forest school, right? Like the kids just fall down, they get up, or like, we role play like, hi, mom, I'm a princess, or I'm a captain of a ship. So we have that when we're young, all of us, everyone in this room, everyone watching, they have this ability to do that. We grow up and then that kind of side gets, I wouldn't say lost, but I think pushed back a little bit. And then we start to layer on these different masks, right? Like we need to survive in our society. So we have to present as serious, responsible adults, which is great. There's no like good or bad. But the clown is linked to this side of ourselves. And like I said, the clown can teach you different things, right? Resilience, creative problem solving. But if that is like tucked away at the back, then we don't get to tap into that as much because it's blocked by all these layers of, I think, roles we have to play. So my job is to check down all the pieces. The mask, all the sphere, like go through and then be like, oh, there's your clown. He's hiding at the back. Come out. And once I do that, I feel like I see people get integrated because they go like, oh yeah, that's also a part of me. I don't have to hide that. I just bring it on when it's needed, but instead of like repressing it and all that. So I find in Singapore, when I teach workshops, we're the funniest people I've met. And I teach around the world, but there's something about when I teach Singaporeans, I think it's like we're so repressed or like no permission to play or something, that when I put a bunch of Singaporeans in a clown class and give permission to play, and when those masks sort of start to go away, oh my god, we're so funny as a I don't know, as a culture. Like the things we want to say, get said. People like, we have a lot of things to joke about, and I've met the funniest people in Singapore, and I teach around the world. So I'm not being biased because I thought Singaporeans would not be funny. Actually, I'm like, oh, I really have my work cut out for me, but we are really funny as a country.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned because you travel so much, right? Yeah. I mean, running from places to places, and then back to home, and then try to bond with your family members. How has this movement, right, in between all these places shaped your understanding of like what is home to you?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot because I'm in a period of my life where I am thinking about where physically is home, because I work in so many countries. And I think for me, home is where I feel safe. And safety comes in different ways. Like, I don't think I found a lot of safety as an artist here. that I had to find home for my artist kind of work abroad in America and in Canada, and it continues to still be that place. But then I also find safety in Singapore, like, you know, for like everything else, like healthcare and feeling safe on the street and feeling a sense of stability here. So I think home is where I feel safe in, and in different seasons of my life, it tends to be in different places. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be one place. Like different communities give me different ideas and different connections that make me feel whole as a person. And I believe that you don't always have to be in one place to get everything out of that place, right? Like we go to a buffet, we don't get all our macronutrients from just one dish, right? Like we have to go through different dishes like proteins and vegetables. And I think that's the same with us and our identity. Sometimes people, I feel, tell me like, okay, Singapore is home, so Singapore needs to give me everything that it needs. But like, it's just one country, which is limitations, and it may not be able to give you everything you need as a full human being. So we have a great airport, book a ticket, and go to another country. Like when we don't have mountains, we don't have nature, right? And we have forest school, you know, but it's not going to give us the full sense of it. So sometimes we need to go out to these different spaces to get a feeling of the resources that we need, and I found that's really worked for me, especially. How about you? Do you resonate?
When it comes to home, I think I always have this struggle, right? Is home a house or house is a home? Right? I think most of us associate house with a home.
Yeah,
a house is like a roof for all of us. And rightly you said, you know, home. I mean, nature is also a home to me. Maybe because that's where you feel grounded and you feel like you rightly mentioned being safe for myself, right? Being like to be in myself first, the inner work that I need to do for myself. And then of course, my physical home, is where like I have all my loved ones together, to be there as human connection, right? And that's where I'll still feel safe. I think that's how home is, not necessarily just a fixed place, but rather you kind of sense, where do you feel comfortable? It's a home to me. And we have all different homes.
Yeah.
Right. kind of. Yeah, that's how it resonates with me, what a home is.
Yeah. And it will always change, I feel.
Yeah, according to seasons, right?
Yeah.
We will have multiple homes, so we are still very resource rich.
Yeah.
That's always see.
But home here very expensive.
That's
so
a house.
That's a house.
It's never a home.
I talked about the layers of masks that we wear, and I find that I have to wear certain layers of masks in my own home, actually. That like, for example, being an artist here, before I kind of be known to be a clown, people expect me to be an artist like in a certain way, and I'm not that. So there's kind of that sort of mask on. So I kind of had to find home in other spaces and countries that they could accept this version of me. And I could see quite big. So for example, last year I was in the New York Comedy Festival in New York, and that's like a huge festival. One of my shows got in, and it was big for me because like kind of a lot of comedians want to go to that stage. And with my show, I didn't know how it would be received in an American audience. And all I had to do was step on stage and smile at them, and they started laughing at me. Like I don't have to do a lot sometimes in these countries, because the image of me and a clown from a foreign land with my Singaporean-ish like vibes and, you know, way of speaking, is funny for them. I felt so at home. I didn't have to try so much. But here, sometimes I feel like I have to go through like layers of approval of like, this is good and this is not good. And then I'm like, I don't feel safe to just try and experiment, you know? So that's kind of how I like kind of felt like home became for me, because I felt like I fit into a crowd where experimentation and failure and new things were like quite seen in a more Western world. But yeah, I'm someone who is, I think I'm always like with I call myself the clown with the suitcase. My home is in my suitcase. And
What's your
yeah, I
suitcase?
don't have his fake, it's fake suitcase. And I go around and I find different places to call home. Different people to feel like I fit into different places.
But are there situations where people would tell you like, okay, you suck as a clown? Like,
Yeah.
and how has that been in terms of being a clown when it comes to this journey?
Yeah, when I first started, I did a clown show here and I got some feedback for my first clown show, which was good. And also there were some negative ones, which is fine. I think as an artist, whenever you put work out there, people will like it and people will hate it. But I remember the kind of negative feedback I got was someone from a very high up position in an arts institution, and it really affected me. It said something like, it was just tearing the work down, like, this is not good, this is thing. And then I was like, oh, this is so bad. But then a very good artist friend who is a friend and was directing that show at the time said to me that, as an artist, you're always going to get criticism. Being an artist is about your point of view, your perspective. It's like you bake a cake, you put it out there. Some people are going to like your chocolate cake and some people are not. Some people say more sugar, more butter. And you decide how you want to take it. And I think it continues to be a lesson for me, because I think in Singapore, like, the culture is that sometimes we want external validation, or we want an affirmation that the work is good, right? We see again in numbers or like likes, or this person gave this feedback. And if they are in a higher position, if they gave good feedback, it means it's more valuable than my mom who just showed up, So I kind of had to kind of divorce myself from those ideas, and now I dig a bit more deeper into whenever I get feedback to be like, do I care about what this person has to say based on how the feedback is helping my work or me as a person? If I feel the feedback is useful, I'll put it in my work. If I feel like they're saying it but they don't work in my industry, or they don't work in the craft, or I feel like they're just doing it to, I don't know, put me down, which happens quite a lot for other artists, then I'm just not going to care. Because at the end of the day, I think it comes back to being an artist is having a point of view, having a perspective. My job is to put my perspectives out there to shape and hammer and craft my version of reality and my thoughts on life and put it out there for an audience to see. If you resonate, that's beautiful. I love that. But then I also need to be open to, like, people might not like it, and that's great. Like, for example, I did a show in Canada. It was like one of my, like, people know me for this show. It's about trafficking and it's very sensitive. It's a clown show. When I toured it in Canada, I went to like big cities. This went to New York as well, Toronto, Vancouver. Like, I got awards in all these cities. And then I go to Winnipeg, which is not one of the capitals, but just a smaller city. And people loved it, like 80% loved it, and then 20% hated it. Like, and they let me know they hated it. Like, walked out of the show, the theater, slammed doors, kind of like interrogated me on the streets, like not assaulted, but like almost confront me, like made me feel super unsafe performing in the city. And they let me know. And then again, I call my producer, like, Michelle, that's her name. Michelle, like, they don't like my show, like, how, like that, like, I'm a terrible artist. And then she's just like, isn't it great? You started a conversation. Like, they hate you so much, they had to walk out, slam the door, and then go on their computer and write a scathing review. That's like how much you fueled it into them. And at the time, I didn't understand it, but I realized why some people hated it, because Winnipeg had like a history of trafficking. So I was like really poking at what was really happening to them. But yeah, that's when I learned the lesson of like, oh yeah, some people will really let you know that they hate it, and that's fine. because I will continue to create work as I grow as a person, and some things are gonna be light and then some things are just gonna be bad, and I will know that it's bad, and it's like we've been there, done that, bought that t-shirt, and then let's move on and make more things. But I cannot be defined by just one piece of work or one piece of workshop that I do. I just don't think like we should quantify people to that, but we have a tendency to do that. I think it's a human race.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you can't have everyone to like you, right? It's just like not like the whole of Singapore coming to forest school and loving the forest, or walking with you and seeing what you do is valuable. I think at the end of it, it's if you can even just do one thing that you can help your audience, right? Or even my little kids who comes to the program and see that little kid grow together. I think that is that big difference that we're all trying to achieve. Right? Yeah, it's a mistake. It's a mistake that we only have one kid, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, and I think it will be a very big journey for yourself, as you go clowning around.
Yeah. I want to know, like, in terms of layers of mask, do you feel like you have to wear different kinds? I mean, I'm sure your identity is not just forest school coach, right? Like, you are many things.
I mean, we all wear different hats, different, at any point. Today I'm a forest school coach. Tomorrow I'm a social enterprise. We wear the mask for different reasons, right? When in a corporate world, you wear your corporate mask. I mean, that's what you do, right? Then you go like straight face, right?
Yeah.
No matter how they score you, need to get the money, you just like straight face. It's very tough. It's very tough. Like, especially when you're in social enterprise, when you're asking for funding, and they'll like question you, like the work that you do, and you still like, yeah, but this is what we do. This is how we're going to do it. In forest school, we put another mask on because, especially for parents who have a view of how their kids should be treated and things like that, it's one of the toughest being a human being to carry out. But I myself, I feel that in every work that I do, in every role that I play, the mask that I put on, as long as I'm authentic to what I'm doing, I think that's the true self.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my personal journey, right? And sometimes we just have to say out that discomfort that we all have is it's not easy. It's a very big struggle. Sometimes I would say like, why am I doing it? Right? Like, is it really for me? You kind of don't trust yourself at times. Like, is this really who I am?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we will just keep revisiting. And by revisiting it, it also helps us to find our real self.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, you kind of have to go through like I like to say like you wear all these masks and then you have to do it. And then you hit the walls and you're like, I'm miserable. I hate doing this. And then you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. But you kind of have to go through that, right? Like you wouldn't get there until you hit the walls and you're like, this doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, I resonate with that. Are there parts of you that you repress, like you don't show people?
I guess the fear of heights.
Oh my God! Wow.
I mean, I've no qualms sometimes playing with water, but then because we're in the forest, sometimes we have to climb like trees, maybe. Yeah. Because it's a very discomfort thing, right? We're not used to climbing. We're not used to like heights. And it's like, okay, in the forest, whatever you ask the kids to do, you have to be there. You have to be the one doing it, right? You cannot just like say it and then you're not doing it. So I think I recall like the first time when I tried climbing a tree, then my legs were like shaking nonstop.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, that's the best I can do already. I cannot do any more already, and that's it, right? But yet, if I have to encourage a kid to really go through that journey, right? Because the kids usually, the younger ones usually like no fear yet, right? Like for us, we grew up along the way. There's this built up fear that we have. So height is the main thing that I fear a lot.
Oh my, I love it. It's such a clown thing. Like you're a forest school teacher that's afraid of height.
Yeah, so there's this perception, oh, you should do this, you can do this, you can like, that's not a problem, right? You can like climb trees, height is not a problem, but height is a problem to me, right? I will like climb to here, okay, enough ready, and that's it, right? Yeah. And that is what I have to recognize it, because if I have to teach, if I were to tell a kid that you need to recognize your own fear, it has to start from me as well to recognize it first. It's like, I'm afraid of height, but I'll still try, but this is the limit for today. Then maybe I'll try the next time again, whenever I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, there's a safe space. Yeah, so we have a safe height. I have a safe height.
What's the safe height? 1 point.
Like 1.6, maybe the most double of me, and that's it, right?
And that's it.
Yeah, because it's like, oh my God, like what if I fall down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my fear.
Oh my gosh. It's like me. I have stage fright.
Oh,
Yeah.
as a clown?
Yeah. I perform all the time. I host and, I'm acting. I have incredible stage fright and it never goes away.
Like, what do you do?
It was really bad at one point. Like I would puke before every show. That's how bad it was. Like I'll have full on like unable to eat or anything. I was just puking backstage and then I'll go on stage. Now I think it's better. Like I don't have like puking, but I have incredible stage fright. My heart is beating 20 times fast before I go on. And what I do is just show up and just force myself to go on stage. Because I know once I'm on stage and I start, it's okay. It's just the moment before I go on that's incredibly nerve-wracking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the audience is there and it's like, okay, where I'm going to start, right?
Yeah. Or like even waiting to do something. I play a lot of like very like trashy pop music to like help distract, but my whole body gets really frightened. Yeah.
Wow.
And then after that, I'll do a show and I'm like, that's great, let's do it again.
Oh, because you're in it already, right?
Yeah.
When you're in it, you kind of like, okay, there's no more fear in a way.
Yeah, but I think this reminds me like your fear of heights and maybe my stage fright. It just maybe points to like, we love our job so much that we will endure suffering. A kind of way. Like we will get out of our comfort zones to do it. That's how much we love our jobs.
Yeah.
Despite our fears.
Yeah.
That
true.
will still be there, unfortunately, and seemingly not being able to be fixed yet,
It won't go away.
Yeah, it won't go away, but we are getting through it. This is such a great conversation, and thank you all so much for tuning into the Clean Your Toilet podcast. We hope you had fun. And if anything on this episode with a clown and a forest school coach, we hope that you face your fears and you go out there and do big things. And remember that your transformation starts with inner work, so take your first step now.
Thank you.
Bang, bang.
Yay.